Today is Monday, August 11, 2014, the 223rd day of the year. There are 142 days remaining until the end of 2014. On this day in 1942, actress and Hollywood movie star Hedy Lamarr and composer Georges Antil receive a patent for a frequency-hopping spread-spectrum communication system that later becomes the basis for modern technologies in wireless telephones and Wi-Fi. Didn't we talk about this? I thought we discussed this. Hedy Lamarr did not invent the internet. No, that would still be Al Gore. Everybody knows this. She did not invent Wi-Fi. She didn't invent radar either. What she did invent, though, with the avant-garde pianist and composer Georges Antil, that frequency-hopping business, was a method for sending a signal from one remote station to another. It was a way to avoid detection or jamming in the event of compromise with data encrypted on piano rolls, long strips of paper, the predecessor of IBM punch cards. The use of this system enabled movement of radio signals to move rapidly and randomly among 88 frequency channels, making it resistant to jamming. Not coincidentally, 88's the number of keys on a piano. The military is interested in it because naval torpedoes are guided to enemy target by wireless radio signal. Now we use it to stream cute cat videos throughout the country. Also, Hedy Lamarr looks terrific with that French actor Charles Boyer in Algiers, Walter Wanger Productions, 1938. On this day in 1966, the Beatles are at a news conference in Chicago trying to explain John Lennon's remark that they're bigger than the Jesus, which has caused a media uproar. Part of John's explanation, hey, look, I was just saying it as a fact. In March 1966, Lennon, in an interview with Maureen Cleave of the London Evening Standard, remarks that with Christianity on the wane in the United Kingdom, his pop group, the Beatles, is more popular than the Jesus. The Evening Standard commissions writer Maureen Cleave, who travels with the group 2 years earlier in winter 1964 on their first U.S. tour, to write a lifestyle series about the group called How a Beatle Lives. It's rumored that the bird who has flown in Norwegian wood on Rubber Soul is Cleave, but Lennon denies it. Nah, he says it's not her, it's some other bird. I forget her name. Cleave visits London at his home Kenwood on St. George's Hill in Weybridge, Surrey. She finds a well-organized library, among other more curious possessions, including a full suit of medieval armor, a life-size crucifix, a gorilla suit. When you got money, taste is pretty much the first thing that goes out the bathroom window. Or is it the bedroom window? One of the upstairs windows. Cleave reports Lennon is reading extensively about religion, and she quotes him saying, Christianity will go. It will vanish and shrink. I needn't argue about that. I'm right, and I'll be proved right. We're more popular than the Jesus right now. I don't know which will go first, rock and roll or Christianity. Lennon just thinks he's being intellectual. He doesn't imagine he's offending sensitive believers' most cherished hopes and dreams. And readers in the UK don't flinch. They can't argue with Lennon. Church membership is in serious decline in 1966. It's a major topic of discussion in the media. Time magazine has a cover story, Is God Dead? And the Beatles are a million-selling pop group, known, beloved, and acclaimed throughout the world, mobbed by hysterical fanatics wherever they go. In the U.S., though, it's a different story. In August 1966, in anticipation of the Beatles' summer tour, teen fan magazine Datebook gets rights to the Evening Standard series and puts Lennon's quote, We're more popular than the Jesus, on the cover. The Bible Belt reaction, immediate, vituperative. Dozens of radio stations condemn and boycott the group. Some stations and church groups in the Deep South organized demonstrations and burned Beatles records and merchandise. The uproar spreads to Latin America, South Africa, Spain. The Vatican denounces Lennon and the devilish influence of Beatles music. On this day in 1966, in Chicago, at that news conference, usually a light-hearted affair for the Beatles, Lennon's in no mood to apologize. He says, if I had said television is more popular than the Jesus, I might have gotten away with it. He makes matters worse by trying to explain himself, and when a reporter presses him for an apology, Lennon, never a lad for faking humility, says, if you want me to apologize, if that'll make you happy, then okay, I'm sorry. It's the first time in his career that mass opinion characterizes Lennon as anything less than adorable. Maybe he thinks he's being critical of the shallow nature of pop culture movements, but his words, especially taken out of context from the debate about religion within the UK, are taken as literal within the American Christian right wing. Concerts in the South are picketed by Ku Klux Klan, who nail a Beatle album to a cross. City Council in Memphis, hometown of Elvis, another entertainer who's more popular than the Jesus, though he never says so, votes to cancel the Beatles concert, saying the Beatles are not welcome in Memphis. But tickets are sold and the concert at the Mid-South Coliseum goes on as planned. Some smart aleck tosses a firecracker on stage during the evening performance. Everybody thinks that the band is target of gunfire. After all, this is America. When they finally get to San Francisco, the tour's final show at Candlestick Park, The decision is made. No more touring, no more playing live. The Beatles retreat into the studio for the 3.5 years remaining of their career. On this day in 1984, United States President Ronald Reagan cracks a joke while preparing to make his weekly Saturday address on national public radio. Reagan is coming to the end of his first presidential term on this day in 1984. He hasn't quite yet descended into the fog of senescence into which he would begin disappearing by the end of his second term. He still thinks he's on a movie set, though, playing the part of a lifetime. He stays in character, but occasionally wanders off script. He's about to deliver his weekly radio address to the nation. During pre-broadcast moments, engineers ask him for a voice level test, and Reagan jokes, saying, "My fellow Americans, I'm pleased to tell you today that I've signed legislation that will outlaw Russia forever. We begin bombing in 5 minutes. The quip was not broadcast, but leaked, as of course anything that great would be, and the Soviet Far East Military Command, famously irony deficient, goes on alert for about 30 minutes. He's joking. Come on, it's funny. There's no change, however, to DEFCON levels within the United States. From Rutland, Vermont, this is Richard Alcott speaking.